So I went on a train ride. Now I know what you're thinking. History guy, what's so special about that? Well, see, this was my first train ride ever since I live in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas. But this was incredibly cool, and I encourage that if you like my content, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you want. The day before it all, my family and I arrived in Springdale, Arkansas, where the train was stationed. We got into our hotel rooms, and it was a 3-hour drive, so we really didn't do much. Then, day 2 of being in Springdale, we woke up at like 5 a.m., got ready, ate breakfast, and met up and went to the station. Now, we had to arrive like 30 minutes early so everything could get sorted out. So in the gift shop, I found this. Unfortunately, not for sale. And then checked out the museum. And what I found made me so happy. I found old cash. Oh my gosh. And I'll display the pictures here. After that, we boarded the train and got all settled in. Then we waited about 15 minutes or so, and then the train took off. The guy was mostly talking about train safety.
Just about to set off. We're going to stop down here at this crossing just for a second so they can switch out the switch gate and get us going straight on line instead of curving. I do have a couple things I want to go over before we take off completely. We do have a couple of safety precautions to concern y'all with and let y'all know about. If y'all need an emergency exit for any reason at all, there's one y'all came in and another one on the other end of the car. Number 2, we don't actually have a bathroom on this car. I'm pretty sure I already sent someone to go across and use the one in number 6, which is what we'll be continuing to do. If you need to use the restroom, just let one of the attendants know, as we can't have you go into the vestibules without an attendant. It is the most dangerous part of the train. Number 3, whenever you do get up to walk around for any reason at all, we ask that you use a 3-point contact. That's going to be your 2 hands and 2 feet on an object at any given time. As you'll notice, whenever we get picking up speed, the train sways back and forth quite a bit, and it can be disorienting and cause you to lose your balance. And these tables are solid oak, so believe me, if you hit one, you're going to remember it. Beyond that, we have 3 things we don't allow on the train. That's going to be tobacco, firearms, and alcohol. So if you have them, you can hand them to me. I can lock them up. Beyond that, I just want y'all to have a safe and fun ride. We're going to be serving out the ANs, which is going to be the light breakfast pretty soon. And I do believe we have lemonade up here. That is complimentary. We also do have drinks and snacks for sale. Those are going to be $2 a piece.
And other such things, which is fine, of course. And now, I didn't expect this until we got onto the train, but he announced soon that they would be talking about history of the cities we were going through to get to Van Buren. So the first bit of history I'll address is the bit I couldn't record in time for. As we were going through Chester, Arkansas, they started talking about the Beard and Lady Inn, built in 1887, and still standing to this day. The Beard and Lady Inn has survived fires, floods, and more. However, guests have reported supernatural occurrences, including footsteps in the middle of the night, along with apparitions that apparently belong to the spirit of a man named Clarence, who got drunk one night after drinking at the Butler's Saloon. He locked himself out of the room and tragically froze to death. He was found the next morning. He stayed in room 4, nicknamed Childhood Fears. With that out of the way, I'll roll the footage that I did get of the train workers talking about history. Yes, the camera is pointed at the table. I just didn't want to get any faces in my recording. So here's like 3 minutes or so of uninterrupted footage or so.
Led by Tony Hammond. Right now, we are going through Johnson, Arkansas. Now, Arkansas, way back when, used to be one of the world's leading producers in strawberries. But it was found out that in Florida, strawberries could be grown up to a month earlier in advance, so we got knocked off of the top in that respect. As to this railroad used to be oh my gosh. This railroad used to be owned by the Frisco Railroad, which ran from San Francisco to St. Louis. And we inherited this 139-mile stretch of track. We are mainly a freight railroad, serving the general area of northwest Arkansas. However, we have special trains like this. And the journey to Van Buren will be about 3 hours. And yeah.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that the history lesson? You done? Is he up to mic? Darn.
1942. You know that in 1845, Texas joined to the USA, and for government was a very serious goal to connect North with South to develop Texas, Arkansas, and so these goals began to realize only after the Civil War. And as I told, this part of railroad was built in 1881, 1882. But Frisco not only built this road, they operated on this railroad about maybe more than 100 years, since 876, far from Monette, St. Louis, and till 1980. Frisco, it's not name, it's no Israeli name, but really it's not some word, it's abbreviation. Frisco, FR, San Francisco, FR and IS, St. Louis last two letters, Fris Company. And because headquarters of this company was in St. Louis.
I think that's it for now.
1950, it was called the Pride of Texas. And when we got this car back in 2014, people didn't really like that it was called the Spirit of, well, it's the Spirit of Arkansas right now, but it was the Pride of Texas. And we used to do a service called Razor Rail. We would take Razorback fans to games, have them there for a few hours, and then come and pick them up. And seeing as Arkansas loves the Razorbacks, people had something to say about it. So we changed it to the Spirit of Arkansas. Now this car has changed hands quite a bit. It's been on the Southern Pacific, Amtrak, all that. This car was built by Bud, and basically everything in here is original.
Okay, you can see this car is special car. Originally it was a bit like a dining car, special dining car. If you look, you can see two parts of this car. People from other cars came here to drink a cup of coffee or sandwiches or like this. So this part was special for people who celebrate some events. They collected, and you know that in the beginning, the most popular rides were in the beginning of 20th century. Till 65, Frisco was working in train for passengers. Only in 1965 was last train from Monette to Van Buren. There were sleeping cars, so people of course came here to eat, to drink, and so that's why there are no any bathroom. Right side you can see the depot here. Small building with small windows because it was very hot in the 19th centuries and all building didn't have big. Now this is Dixon Street. This is the heart of Fayetteville. It's renewed. You can see now it's very beautiful.
Going through Fayetteville,
And
Arkansas.
until 1836, this city was named Washington. But now it's Washington County, so they changed official name Fayetteville.
This Fayetteville was named after Fayetteville, Tennessee. So that would basically make this Fayetteville an imposter.
Okay, Tennessee, because settlers came from Tennessee to here, to this area, and name in 1936 Fayetteville. But do you know Fayetteville really? What is Fayetteville? First city was in North Carolina. Fayetteville, you know, when Arkansas was part of Louisiana, it was very strong French influence. Fayetteville, Fayette, Marquis de Lafayette, who came in 1875, maybe 76, from France. He was only 19 years, and he saw the colleagues, friends, guys, I don't know, officer, on the ship named Victory came to the USA to support George Washington in his struggle for independence. And you know, they were so close. He appreciated his attempt to help. He made George Washington, made him general in 19 years. And so first city was named North Carolina, like Fayetteville. And as people told me, there are no three cities. There are a lot of Fayettevilles in the USA. Now Fayetteville is the seat of Washington County, the capital of the city, and the main, I think, city of Northwest Arkansas.
Oh man, I got so much footage. With that out of the way, we saw a few more things along the way, such as a few jet fighters in Greenland, Arkansas. I sent the pictures to my friend who knows literally everything about jet fighters, and he identified two of them. One was an A-7, primarily used in the Vietnam War and Operation Desert Storm. He identified the other as an A-6, but didn't give much detail on it, which is fine, of course. Then we went on a few bridges, and the sun made my camera quality scuffed. Scuffed, I tell you. It was terrible. I mean, look at this.
Our second and shortest trestle, measuring at 421 feet long and 110 feet tall. And fun fact, those of you on the edges are hanging out a few feet over a 100-foot drop. The more you know.
This is the most beautiful part of Boston Mountain.
It was beautiful, but bruh, at least let me have good camera quality for once. We then went under a tunnel, which I couldn't get good footage of because they turned off all our lights. Fun. A bit later, we arrived in Van Buren, Arkansas. Now, at this point, my phone was at like 50% or so I couldn't record the whole thing. However, I did get a few pictures and videos, so I'll roll them real quick. But before that, I want to read this cool paper about Van Buren I got. Van Buren is one of the oldest cities in Arkansas. Local legend has it that the explorer Hernando de Soto and his men came through here and left one of their ranks buried in what is now Fairview Cemetery. The land was first settled in by 1818 by Thomas Phillips, and for the first time, the community was known as Phillips Landing. Several years later, Phillips changed the name to Van Buren after his close friend, the then Secretary of State, Martin Van Buren, who eventually became President of the United States. The original courthouse was built in 1842, however, arsonists destroyed the Italianate-styled courthouse by 1877. Van Buren was incorporated in 1845. At this time, the town had a larger population than Fort Smith. The Butterfield Overland Mail Company began its route through Van Buren in 1858 during the Civil War. Van Buren was largely a Confederate stronghold. However, legend has it that some young men served both the Confederate and Union armies, receiving honorable discharges from both sides. After the war ended in 1865, Van Buren was occupied by the Federal Army. The period after the war brought economic hardship for the city. The economy rebounded when Van Buren became a major shipping junction in 1873 with the completion of the Missouri Pacific Railroad and the St. Louis-San Francisco Railroad. Wow, that's a tongue twister. During this period, the main industries were smelters and glass-produced products. Yes. And the main agricultural products were cotton, cottonseed, peaches, strawberries. An annual strawberry festival was held on Main Street, as seen in the picture in the museum area. Wait, I didn't get a picture of that, did I? Tragic. Watermelons, cantaloupes, and vegetables. Cotton grinds and flour mills flourished during this period also. For more detail about this information, Van Buren. Anything on the back? Nope. Okay, cool. Love that. So, okay. When we first got into Van Buren, I found Freedom Park, where I found the first of many signs here. Feel free to pause and read everything if you want to. Alright, well, it's so bright outside, but welcome to Freedom Park. We are currently in Van Buren, Arkansas now. 4 freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom of want, freedom from fear. 4 freedoms by Norman Rockwell. I'm not sure what all this place is about. Okay, let's see here. Rules. Freedom Park rules. No running, no bathing in fountains, no animals of any kind in fountain, no drinking water from the fountain, shower before and after using the fountain. Showers are located on south side of bathroom / mechanical buildings. No lifeguard. Okay, that's, yeah, sure. Holy goodness, this is cool. This is right off the train in Van Buren, Arkansas. We get off the train, come around from there. So here we are. And then on my way to go to the next area, I saw this really, really old car. Look at that old car, that's so cool. Then I found the Memorial Veterans Plaza. Feel free to pause the video and read everything if you want. I'll show all my pictures here without interrupting. After that, we walked down the street somewhere. We found this really old building that I can only assume was built in 1886 because it said Citizens Bank 1886 at the top. Citizens Bank 1886. That's crazy. It's a big old place. After that, I found a goodie at an antique store. We'll go over that at the end of the video. Yo, what's going on? Found this 1984 Hungarian coin from whenever the Soviets were still in power. After I get home from this little field trip, I will go over it. After that, we got lunch at a food truck called the Burger Forge, and oh my gosh, those burgers were so good. I can't make this up. I'll throw a few pictures of the place on screen, but I would definitely recommend trying to find the Burger Forge if you're in Van Buren, Arkansas. After all that, it was pretty much time for the train to arrive, so we went back to the pickup place and waited for a good 15 minutes or so. On the way back, I fell asleep, so I couldn't get new footage of the scenery that was scuffed beforehand, so that's cringe. Anyways, guys, I'm your local history guy. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which will definitely be American Revolution Part 3. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I'm your local history guy here, and now I'm going over the Hungarian Soviet Hungarian coin from 1984. So I am not sure who is on the front here. I will definitely make sure to include it while editing. This particular one is a 20 forint from 1984. Soviet Hungary coins were made from 1949 all the way up to 1989. I think whenever the Soviet Union collapsed, I believe. This one here is made particularly, since it's from 1984, 20 forint is made from copper and nickel. I believe so, yes. And we are going to see how much it weighs. Probably weighs as much as a regular quarter, I'd say. I don't know. Coming in at 7 grams exact. Love to see that. Love to see that. That's all I really got to say about this coin. I'm your local history guy, and I will see you in the next one.